Hello, my name is Melissa, and to give my testimonial here today. Um, so I have some notes also because I don't want to leave anything out. But yeah, I came in to the office. I had heard about it through a practitioner that I was seeing, and she highly suggested I come in for specifically for the anxiety that I was experiencing, especially like health anxiety and stuff like that. And also for vagus nerve stimulation that can really calm the nervous system down. And so I was a little leery because I had never heard of anything like that. And I was struggling for so many months in a row with very little relief from what I was, being treated, with how I was being, with the different types of treatment that I was doing. And so I was starting to lose a lot of hope. And so when I came in, I was in a really bad space. I was experiencing all sorts of anxiety. I wasn't able to sleep or rest. So I wasn't able to get to like a space of like homeostasis. My body just would not allow it. So when I came in, I barely could even walk into the office because physically I was very weak, mentally extremely weak, and just had almost, gotten to the point of, like I said, giving up. Um, so we came in, me and my husband, and started getting treated. And I just remember going home and actually being able to take a nap because I hadn't been able to nap or really sleep through the night for, it had been 5 months or so. Um, and so that was huge for me to be able to do that. I was quite surprised. I thought, oh, maybe it's just placebo. And of course, questioning everything, but it was a real thing. So they started first treating my nervous system to calm it down, because it was just, I was in fight or flight constantly, and the stress response was just, I was just very stressed out on all levels. So the illness all kind of started, or how it all kind of started spiraling, I guess, is back in January of 2021. I ended up getting some really bad infections in my lungs specifically, and I had never really struggled with lung issues. And I was unfortunately treated with antibiotic because that was really the only thing that we could think to do. And I have really bad reactions to antibiotics. So it got really bad. My mental health really went downhill from there. Um, and then I got another infection as well. So it was like an infection and then co-infections. So I thought, how is a chiropractor, neurological chiropractor, going to help with that? So that's why I doubted a lot of stuff, because I thought, well, a lot of it is just physiology, and then it's messing with my mental health. So anyway, um, I I then, went home, took that nap after that first appointment. So that was really nice. And then again, they started working on my nervous system and taking that anxiety down. And that really, really, really helped. For me to be able to have little bouts of each day that I actually felt kind of normal. And I started sleeping a little bit more at night, not a lot more. It wasn't exactly to where I wanted it to be, but I could sit there very still and kind of relax and calm and have my brain calm down. So that was huge. And that was probably like week 3 after getting treated. Um, and then I started, so what was really difficult about this whole situation is I was trying to do all of this and go through all of this without taking mental health medication. That was my biggest goal, was to be able to get through it without having to take stuff, because I've had such bad experience with that kind of medication, and I was medication free for probably 3 years, 3, 4, probably 5 years, until all of this had happened. So I was very happy to be able to not have to take medicine. So that was a very big deal for me, even though I had a lot of days where I'm like, what am I doing? I need to get on something. But I didn't want to have to go through that whole mess again, since I had been through it before. And sure, it can help people, but for how many years it took me to get off the medication, I didn't want to do that over again. Anyway, I just remember after 3 weeks of getting treated, I drove myself to the appointment, because I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I wasn't able to drive at all during this time. And that it was so debilitating that I had to have my mom move in and help out at the house. And then my husband had to take off weeks of work. I forgot to mention that part. So it was huge for me to be able to drive myself, because I had someone driving me all the time, and I had to be around people all the time, or my anxiety would spike. So I drove myself to the appointment without anyone in the car with me. That was huge. And then over time, I felt good enough to go on a road trip with my children without anyone with me. And then I found myself, and of course, it was scary to do all of this stuff, but I worked through it with their help. And then eventually I was able to go get a job. I haven't worked in 2 years. And then I got another job. So I have 2 part-time jobs now. And it was just really encouraging because of just the depth that they go to, especially Dr. Lynn. So now I'm a homemaker with 2 boys, soccer mom, balancing 2 jobs, which I don't work a lot, but I pace myself. But if it wasn't for all of this care and their concern and their compassion and their knowledge, I just don't know if I would have been able to do any of it. So, or it would have been a really long, drawn out process, and I probably would have ended up on medication. So yes, that is my story.